January the 18th, 2026. Guys, we're finally getting the satellite information in on this X flare that's headed our way. What you're looking at in this model is the sun is in the center and the Earth is the yellow dot. This is Mars. All the color codings up here at the top, different satellites. I'm going to pause it right here. I'm pausing it at on the 20th at 0000 hours. That's UTC time. Now, what that translates to back to us is that we're going to be seeing the impact around 7 p.m. in New York. What does that mean? We're not going to be directly Earth facing that impact as far as the East Coast. Now, it's going to be just getting sunset on the West Coast where we got a lot of fault zones, so we got to watch that. But UTC time is all, I've got everything set in here again, 7 p.m. tomorrow night, East Coast. That would be 6 p.m. here, Central Time. You can do the math. Now, let's look at the involvement and how long that's going to occur. Remember, I talked about 122 minutes of blackout time during that flare. And from looking at it, guys, it did not make it all the way back down until something else hit. Another flare is in the process. Now, we're fully involved in the yellow dot again by 0600 hours, 6 hours later. So that's going to be 1 a.m. in the morning, New York, 6 a.m. in the morning, London. Now, which means that once, depending on the impact time, and because this is estimated, you've got a muzzle velocity, basically, when it leaves the sun in over 93 million miles, it's going to slow down. So what they do is put in a plus or minus 7 hours window for arrival time. But it's been pretty accurate lately. Anyway, you can see we're getting that left side of the flare. As we looked at the video, or the two videos earlier, but the last one showed the information from the GOS satellite to where most of the flare came off this side of the sun, but look where the strongest part, right in here. See that deep red? We'll watch it again. Look where that comes through, right where we're at, and that's because we're Earth facing. And I was saying that in the video earlier this afternoon, that a good bit of that blast was to the left, but we were in that Earth facing component. If you look right here, you see this white area in the curve before it gets to Earth? That is the strongest area of the flare, okay? Anyway, I wanted to point that out. So other than the West Coast catching this as far as an impact, it's going to be late in the day. New York, you're already going to be dark there. It's going to be dark here, Central Time, where we're at. But the problem with not being directly impacted as far as the sunlit side of the planet is tectonic plates are very large, just like the ring of fire around the Pacific. Very large area. One side can get hit and it can affect everything. But it's better to be on the nighttime side of the flare, especially one like this. And that's what we're going to see. Again, West Coast, you guys over there, as the sun's starting to set, you think, what is it, 7 p.m. on the East Coast? What are you guys going to be at, around 4 or 5 on the West Coast? You're still going to have some Earth-facing or sun-facing situations there. Now, Hawaii, Japan, that's where it's going to start to get a little more dicier, okay? Because this is a long event. But we cannot forget that even when we talk about hitting in the Pacific Ocean, look at what we've seen just recently on the West Coast off of California there. A lot of activity going on, a lot of volcanoes going off. Some of the volcanoes are acting very unusual, by the way. And I think it's got to do with the heat of the planet, the changing, the tilting of the Earth, a lot of different things. But again, this is the best case scenario for the U.S. that we could hope for, because we don't want a direct impact. I mentioned in the video earlier, when Fukushima, when that quake hit, it was around 2:45, 3-ish in the afternoon in Tokyo. And I watched 3 X flares leave the sun there a day or so before that. and that's what caused it. And again, now that it's common knowledge, it wasn't then. So let's watch this. It's important, and not only for the fact that you can deal with earthquakes, but the way it affects us. And so nighttime is the best time for the U.S. as far as those effects. But as the sun rises tomorrow, being such a long flare, there's still going to be elevated solar wind speed, things like that. We'll watch it, guys. You watch it. All the links that we're looking at are on our website at bpearthwatch.com. There's a tremendous amount. There may be 50 or 60 links. I haven't added them up in a long time. Tina does that website. But we appreciate you watching, and let's keep an eye on this thing, see what's going on with it. A lot of information coming in. Trump is real upset about what's going on in Minnesota, but we're finding out. And I read a couple of articles today talking about different cities are being exposed for the same crap. Now, we knew that California was, a few other, but now more and more cities that are democratically run are in the same fraud and grift situation. And I noticed that I was watching one of the feeds that we had last night when we were watching outside the Petty Ice Center there in Minneapolis, that things were a little different tonight. What had happened, I think, Trump has said he's coming in. They've got 1,500 troops ready. Of course, you got the Minnesota National Guard on the outskirts of town, but they've been basically told to stand down. So what Frey and whoever's running it, I guess Tim Waltz, they sent in, I noticed tonight, I watched it for about 30 minutes, that the sheriff's department, last night they came in, they put out a couple fires, and they would leave. This time they are like 20 cars deep, keeping the people off the street so that nothing is instigated to the point that Trump comes in. Now, they're not harassing the protesters. They're just keeping them pushed back across the street from that center. If I may go live for about 30 minutes, guys, and sometimes I do that just so we can have a chance to chat live together. We'll see. I'm going to take a look at it. But right now, I'll end this video. It's not very long. But this is the information I promised coming in. It's a heads up. Be safe.